Hello everyone, this is Professor Hills, a short video for our class Introduction to Philosophy 1301 here at St. Philip's College. This is the fall 2019 online version of the class. Today's Friday, August the 30th, and I just had a couple of quick updates for everybody. Most everybody's got the welcome and introduction piece done, so that's good. I'm going to go through and just check those off this weekend just to make sure everybody's signed up and connected. We've been working on getting our books, and again, here's the thing. Philosophical Journeys by Lawhead. You definitely want to get any edition of this book. And I know some people are working on it and have had some difficulties. A couple people had some problems. They're on their way. They've been ordered. They haven't arrived yet, that kind of thing. And so you should know that as of today, Friday, there is a copy on reserve in the library now. And I'm also going to put up in the first module a PDF version of just chapter 1. Can't do the whole book that way. Sorry, still got to get the book, but at least it'll be a bridge for you. The section, the small part you need while you're waiting for your book to arrive. If you already got the book, great. Read your book. Read chapter 1. If it hasn't arrived yet and you're starting to get worried about it, as apparently some people are, there's at least now this small bit of it that's available in Module 1 that you can read as a sampler, if nothing else. It'll get you started. So hopefully it'll be a bridge until your book arrives. So that being said, that's kind of the news of the day. Because, again, we're going to develop this rhythm where we read, write, and I'm going to be posting some things as we go along. And here's another thing I wanted to let you know about, which is I had this conversation with the face-to-face class about philosophy and about why our book begins with a lot of philosophers from ancient Greece. And there's an answer to that question. I can tell you, I remember when I was an undergraduate, a million years ago, and saying to my professor, hey, look, why does the philosophy book begin in ancient Greece? Why not someplace else? China, Africa, India. And they're like, I don't know, just shut up and read chapter 1. I was like, not a terribly satisfying answer. But now there's an interesting explanation of that that's in a book called Guns, Germs, and Steel. And that book by Jared Diamond, he was asked a different question, but he kind of gives us the answer to our question. His question, the question he got asked was, why are there some societies that are extraordinarily well developed and rich and prosperous, and they have things like nuclear submarines and satellites in outer space and all this incredible technology and power and strength. And there are other countries which are still just in poverty and developing, but facing huge obstacles and problems. Well, he says, as he tells this story, he was asked this question. He's like, I don't know. I thought there'd be a simple and easy answer, and there's not. The more he looked into it, he's like, ooh, this is complicated. I need to sort this out. So he does, and then he writes this book about this kind of journey he goes on trying to answer that question. Well, it turns out he traces all of the societies back to a time before civilization, when there were people all around the world, and they were hunting and gathering in small bands, but always on the move, always breaking off into smaller groups, but a very mobile way of subsistence. And he talks about the transition from that to agriculture, to farming, which allowed people to have, for the first time, stable settlements. And once you get that, a stable food supply, you can build up a village, a city, a town, a big civilization. And so he looks at where that happened first and why, and you probably would not be surprised to hear that it was all about geography. It was about the plants and animals that were near you, and that's why some people got a head start on others. Well, It's more complicated than that, but the book does a nice job of unpacking this in some detail. And it turns out, lucky for us, the National Geographic Society took the book, turned it into a long documentary that they filmed with Jared Diamond. It's in 3 one-hour parts, and I highly recommend the first hour of this. The first part is called Exit from Eden, and it's available online, YouTube for free. I'll put a link in that first module as well. And you can hear the story about how civilization got started in some places ahead of others and why. And that's, again, going to get us back to our question, which is, why did philosophy begin in ancient Greece? And again, it's more complicated than that. The story, the narrative that gets developed by Jared Diamond in his book and is well portrayed in the documentary does get at the key concepts of that. So I'm going to put that in there so you can at least see and watch the first hour of the 3-hour documentary. I'll put links to the other ones if you want to watch the whole thing, if you find it interesting. I'll even put a link to the book if you want to read the book. It's a great book. So, not required. I just want you to know this is the answer to that question and put the materials up for you. Again, hopefully you can find an hour this weekend. It's a 3-day weekend. It's Labor Day weekend. No classes on Monday. So you'll have a little extra time if you want to get to watching that National Geographic documentary, Guns, Germs, and Steel by Jared Diamond. So the links are in Module 1. If you have any questions about that or anything else, let me know. Again, get your books. Start reading Chapter 1. That is the message of the week. Other than that, take care. Let me know if you got any problems. Bye-bye.